everybody, my name is Gazooka and welcome to the Stanley Parable. Parable. From what I understand, you play Stanley, an office worker, that's basically told what to do. And I don't know exactly, but from what I've heard and seen on the Steam page, your choice, whether you choose to do what the narrator says or you don't do it, varies the outcome of the game simulator. I don't know what it is. Enough talk, let's just get into it so we know what I'm doing.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Nice voice.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427.
Right.
Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard.
There you go.
Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order.
That's blurry as fuck.
This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year.
Right.
And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in.
Okay.
As though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
So you want me to step out?
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision?
Shut the door.
What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go any way except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
Oh. Oh. So I'm not meant to do that. Where am I meant to go?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay. Where's the meeting room? Is that it? Oop. What? Weird. Meeting room. No, that's not it. Oh. This wasn't open before.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Do I? Do I do the right? I'll go with the left. Let's play this out his way then. Just to start with. Okay.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Okay. Whiteboard manager. PowerPoint. Broom closet. Ooh.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Okay.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Okay. I'm not one for following instructions. Oh, well, I am very good at following instructions. Orders, not so much. Ooh, a bathroom. Nope. Yeah, I'm just going to tweak the thing again, because it's a little bit too sensitive now. That's a little better. Boss.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
You know.
Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Oh, wait.
Stanley simply began entering random codes into the keypad, knowing full well the sheer statistical unlikelihood that this would ever result in a correct combination. If he knew that the combo was 2845, it would be another. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Where? Oh. Newly opened, you say? Okay.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
No, we got to find the culprit that can help me. Fuck it.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Ooh. Ooh. Okay, let's just play it through. See what we can do, because I think we can play this from the start again and do something else. Push the button.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Another book. Another book.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
I don't know. Stop asking me this.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Do I have to? What's this? 5. Ooh, big TV screen. Really big TV screen.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
That means turn it off.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over?
I mean, there's a light right there.
Yes.
Oh.
He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved.
Yeah.
Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his.
Ooh, pretty.
That was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
I'm trying.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin.
Looks like
The
somewhere in
feeling
England,
of
actually.
liberation. The
What with the power
immense
cables and
possibility
stuff.
of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Happy. Okay, so then we start again. So in a way I found 2 endings. Waiting here and doing the thing. So this time I'm going to take the right door.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and
Okay.
Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
No.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
No.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
No. I'm going straight for here.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Do not jump from the cargo lift while it's in motion will cause death penalty and misuse of cargo lift $1,000 penalty for jumping off the cargo lift $5,000.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here.
No.
I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life.
Ooh.
She's been waiting.
It has. Who are you on about, dude? Explain to me. I would like to meet her. I got fucking Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria all over this. Oh god.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone. As Stanley picked up the phone, a white light engulfed him, filling him not just with radiance, but with hope. Hope for a life reunited one... Wait. Oh, goodness. Stanley, did you just unplug the phone? No, that wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that? You actually chose incorrectly? I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check. No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in, fade to white, roll credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you...
Because I'm a boss, that's why.
Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner?
What?
You're not Stanley. You're a real person.
Ooh.
I can't believe I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices. And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation? Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world. Please observe this helpful instructional video.
Choice. It's the best part of being a real person, but if used incorrectly can also be the most dangerous. For example, in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Stephen has a choice. He could spend years helping improve the quality of life for citizens of impoverished third world nations.
Okay.
Or he could systematically set fire to every orphan living in a 30-kilometer radius of his house.
What the...
Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense,
What?
in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back, sack, and crack."
No, you're okay. Is it 4:30? I meant to be having a back sack and
Excellent.
crack.
Making choices on a regular basis is the best part to a healthy decision-making process. Most medical professionals recommend making at least 8 choices per day. Do you make more than 8? Less? And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside. At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
Okay.
Ah, welcome back. You may have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed of good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way, please.
No. Okay. Are you gonna drop me?
Now that we know your choices are meaningful, we can't have you jumping off the platform and dying. Imagine the main character dying senselessly halfway through the story. That story would make no sense at all. We just need to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse.
Jump, Stanley, jump.
Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality.
Can I go through this door? I need a key card. One lying around. I doubt it. Oh, no. One in here. Well, I can't go through there anymore anyway. Okay. Which...
Almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending, the story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world.
Okay.
Now remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other direction. Perhaps we're not too late.
Ooh. Okay, I'm going. Okay. Okay. Ooh. Ooh. Everything's going bad. Okay, let's go this way then. Are we good? We good, boss?
Oh, it's ruined. I can't believe after everything we talked about that my story, you've destroyed my work. Why? For what? What did you get out of that? What did you think was so special about seeing the game undone, left here like so much garbage? It's worthless now. And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever, reliving its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely? To willingly destroy all of my work? I don't know. What's the answer? What do I do? What do I do? What do I... No, I have to. I have to shut the game down. I have to. I have to.
Oh, that was a bit horrifying. Oh. This just got weird.
Oh, I'm here. I'm still here. Here in this pile of rubbish. With you. You, who thought you were so clever. Now look where we are. My entire game is destroyed. It was the only thing in the world that was mine, and you've run it into the ground. What, did you think that would be funny? You just had to see? Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley? He actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it.
Yeah.
That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it? That there's a world outside of you? You're a child. Oh.
You're a douche.
My story. If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility.
My fault,
you would have destroyed it and been victorious. It would have been so perfect. I worked so hard on it. I tried so hard. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Oh, I was reading that. Okay, let's go.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Couldn't I go downstairs before? Oh, nope. Wait, that's not a toilet anymore. I can't go in it. What about this one? Nope. Oh, this is different.
Stepping inside his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, until he saw the door with a voice receiver next to it. Surely behind this door lay all the answers to his questions. And beyond all probability, he knew the passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week. Night Shark, 115. Was this the code to open the door? Would it still work? There was only one way to find out. Stanley had been trained never to speak up, but now he would draw from within himself the courage to face the unknown. He drew a sharp breath and then spoke the code.
I forgot the code. Oh, how do I...
Stanley spoke the code. Night Shark 115.
Night
He
Shark
spoke it into the
115.
receiver, right there on the wall.
How do I... Night Shark 115.
I'm sorry, is there a problem? You didn't mishear me, did you? Please speak the code into the receiver. Otherwise we can't get on with the story. This is a crucial step.
Night Shark 115.
Okay, fine. You're not going to do it.
Is
But
this
you
not
know
linked
what?
up to the microphone?
It's pretty humiliating to bring you this far, only for you to suddenly decide you have better things to do. I asked you for this one single thing, for your respect. The kind of
poor
respect
panda.
Stanley shows for his choices. He knows what it means to take a story seriously. If you didn't want to see what I had to show you, then why did you come here? You had a choice, you know. You could have gone through the door on the right. You could have done whatever the hell you wanted over there. Why did you come this way? Speak. Say something to me. Explain yourself, you coward. When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left. Stanley? Hello? Are you... Is everything okay?
This is so trippy.
I need you to make a choice.
Oh, did it?
I need you to walk through the door. Are you listening to me?
Oh, that was cool.
Can you hear me? Is everything all right?
Oh, I sound so
This is
worried.
important. The story needs you. It needs you to make a decision.
Kevin Bright,
It cannot
Kevin
exist without
Brighting.
you. Do you understand me?
Got a good
Whatever
voice.
choice you make is just fine. They're both correct. You cannot be wrong here. We can work together. I'll accept whatever you do. I simply need you to take that step forward, please. Choose. Do something. Anything. This is more important than you can
Kevin
ever know.
MacLeod. Ooh.
I need this. The story needs it. So, you hear me? Are you there? Are you listening to this? Stanley, are you there? Okay. It's okay, I can wait. You need time to decide. Time to make sure your choice is correct.
Galactic Cafe. Well done. A very cool game.
It's all right. I'll wait for you to decide what's the right thing to do. Take as much time as you need.
Okay. And I'm back at my office. Okay. Just before we finish, I want to see what happens if I take the escape route. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music. So clever. Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway. Nope, I'm going this way. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death. The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. No. I'm going to the escape. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death. Mm-hmm. Oh dear. fuck?
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise,
Oh!
he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever.
Oh, no, no, no.
Stanley
No,
can't see
no.
the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped
Oh my
forever in
God.
his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man.
What?
So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent
Oh God,
end
no.
to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Oh, no, 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 no.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Oh, whoa. What?
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
That his wife?
When every path you can walk has been
Oh,
created
this is
for
nice.
you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same.
Hey, the office.
Do you see now?
That's my office.
Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Oh, shit. The office. In early development, we designed an ending where Stanley would end up on the battlefield fighting aliens. The action game would become sentient and would wage war against the narrator. We realised shortly after starting to build it that it was far too jokey and on the nose of the tone of the game. Plus, some people interpreted it as making fun of people who like shooters, which was not our intention. Now that looks nice. That looks like Tron. That looks like something from Tron, that does. Okay. Up, down, exit. Oh.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another?
Who's that,
No,
Stanley and the
Perhaps
narrator?
not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me.
Oh
You
no,
can
not again.
still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time...
Ooh. Am I dead this time? Oh, I'm actually dead. Oh shit. I can't do anything. Fuck. Right. Well, that, guys, was the Stanley Parable. That was such a cool and interesting game. I actually really liked that. It was so different to like any normal game I've played. But yeah, that was cool. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed the stuff I've done. And I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.